Okay, next bait I'm going to go over is the Hoghead Baits slop stick. Just like a Senko or a Magic Stick or any of the other Senko knockoffs. This one I really like because it's a 3-inch. It's a smaller size. Really great for post-spawn smallmouth. When they're not looking to eat something really big. I actually thought when I started rigging these on these, it's a number 6 octopus hook. I started doing this for my students, my kayak fishing students. I have a business called Blue Ridge Kayak Fishing, where I teach people how to fish out of kayaks. It's an American Canoe Association class that teaches people river safety, paddling technique, and maintaining boat position. A lot of things that are necessary to effectively and safely catch fish out of a kayak. One of the things, like I mentioned, that one of the techniques that I teach is dead sticking, and this, I came up with this idea as a means to have my students, when fishing is slow, to catch something, anything. And my assumption was, hey, this is just gonna catch a bunch of dinks. I couldn't have been more wrong. I've caught numerous smallmouth over 20 inches on this 3-inch slop stick just by dead sticking. Again, the bright line that floats on the surface, bright braided line, helps my students see when that line starts taking off, you know that you have a fish. You don't have to feel the bait. That's something that I struggled with for many years with dead sticking weightless lures. How do you know when you feel a bite? With a tube, you know when you got a bite, or any weighted lure like a jig. You feel that thunk when they suction it in their mouth. With something drifting in current, you don't know so much. The great thing about this, as soon as they grab it and turn with it, this tiny little hook is very sticky, so it gets in them. As soon as they feel any pressure, they're hooked. The rod that I use for this is a St. Croix Premier spinning rod. It's a 7'6" medium light, fast action. You need that whippy of a rod in order to throw such small baits. Just like the river bottom tube, I'm working on specific colors for the slop stick. This is one, I haven't quite named it yet. It's generally like an olive green with gold and black fleck. They're going to be making, Hoghead Baits is going to be making that very soon. It looks a lot like a lot of the different shiners, sometimes young of the year smallmouth that live here in the Susquehanna River. Alright, this next bait is called the Sowtail. This is a smaller beaver style bait. What I like to do with this, just like with the slop stick, is nose hook it. The other thing I like to do, you see those big flippers in the front? I rip those suckers right off. And that to me looks like a little crayfish. You got the little claws pointed out. Now, this I like to weight. I've actually come up with my own weighting system. I pour a lot of my own jig heads and different kinds of lead lures, and what I came up with to weight the beaver style baits, or the Sowtail, is little discs of lead, little drippings from the lead pot that I pour. What I'll do is I'll get the soft plastic glue, put that on the bottom. I'm not going to do it because I'm going to show you an alternate way to do this. Put it on there, and then you shove the weight right on there. The reason I'm not going to do it with this one, I'm going to show you an easier way to do what I do using brads. Tiny little 3/4 inch nails. You get, I don't know, 100 of them for $1.39 at Walmart. Very cost-effective way to rig this kind of bait and to weight it. What you do is you rig it, you push the nail very shallowly into the belly of the bait. I'm gonna put 2 because I want this one weighted a little bit higher, a little bit more weight. Now I've got it rigged backwards. Okay, and what that does is that keeps that hook up. It's the nails are on the bottom, so it's gonna fall like that, and that hook is pointed up, out of trouble from getting snagged on the bottom. Like I mentioned, I pour a lot of my own soft plastics. This is one that I made, and that shows the lead disc on there. I've had buddies that have seen and students that have seen how I do this and how effective that small number 6 octopus hook is at catching fish without even paying attention half the time. This is one of my hand pours, and this is actually a color that I call Raven. It's a beaver style bait, just like the sowtail, and that color is actually going to be the next Hoghead Baits tube color. I don't have any of the prototypes here, but they're going to make that color in the Hoghead Baits too. Okay, there's a nice Susquehanna River smallmouth caught on a river bottom colored tube by Hoghead Baits. Special thanks to Matt Leo of Smallmouths.com for shooting the video today. See you on the river.